Hi everyone, I'm Gautam aka The Seeker of Wisdom. I'm a manifestation coach, and in this video we're going to be talking about infinite parallel realities and how it correlates to SP. Now before I do so, I'd like to remind you guys I am available for coaching. I offer hourly, monthly, email and DM coaching. The link will be in the description down below. I also have a Facebook group where you can ask me questions anonymously and where I'll post resources from time to time. And I also have a mailing list where I'll post articles and my latest offers for coaching as well. Again, all the link will be in the description down below, so be sure to check it out. So without further ado guys, let's get to it. So what prompted this video was I think someone was commenting on my free will and SP video in my IGTV, and I think the question was like, if I were to marry you, then what happens in your reality or something like that. And then I was posting that on my story because I felt like it was a little cheeky and whatnot because it involved me in it, and a lot of people were still confused, as many people were like, as much people were clear about this, there were as many that weren't clear about this as well. And now that I have a YouTube channel and whatnot, I thought, what, let's make another video explaining it. And even before I even start like explaining myself here and what this is all about and whatnot, I just wanted to say that this is my interpretation of everything that's happening, right? This is not like something that I read somewhere. This isn't something that I learned from someone formally. This is simply my interpretation of like what this whole thing is about. And in my opinion, for me, it makes sense, right? It may not make sense for you, and it might be confusing for you to an extent. And if that's the case, I understand. And you might even disagree with this explanation. And again, like, we are all, in this journey of like discovering what this is all about. And like, I'm at a journey where, like, I'm on my own journey, basically. That's all I'm saying. And I just wanted to make that quick disclaimer because, like, I don't want people to really, like, feel like this is the only truth that's out there. I think, when people listen to a lot of content creators and whatnot, they really get attached to what the content creator is saying and stuff. So I just wanted to make that quick disclaimer before I even begin. So this is again like my interpretation of it, and I'll tell you guys like why I feel this way about this, and I'll explain it as clearly as I can, so that you guys will have like minimal doubts as possible. I feel like there'll always be a few doubts here and there, and you guys can always put it down in the comments, and I'll get back to it as soon as I can, of course. But yeah, so let's begin. So Neville always says that creation is already finished, right? That essentially to me means that all possibilities already exists across the infinite parallel planes. So this means that you, like, let's say you take a left in one reality, on a path. Let's say this is like a T junction, for example, right? So you take a left, but in another reality, you take a right, right? And basically there are two realities, right? So in one you take a left and the other you take a right. So there are both possibilities already exist, right? So for the person who took the right, right, he would not experience the person who took the left turn, for example, right? Because those two become separate realities at that point, right? Because they are parallel realities. Again, parallel lines do not intersect, right? So the person who took the right will not experience the reality of the person who took the left, yet they are considered the same people, but different versions of them, so to speak, right? For those of you who watched the Loki series from Marvel, or even like Spider-Man recently, right, No Way Home, you will realize that there are different versions of us, right? And those realities don't intersect. And that's the whole premise of this: is creation is already finished, all versions of you already exist, and you are basically choosing what reality to experience from this infinite parallel planes. In fact, that's why I always say, like, when we say you are the creators of your reality, that's not a very accurate term to an extent, because you're not creating anything, because creation is already finished. You're merely aligning with a reality that you desire, right? So it's more about alignment rather than creation, if you will, because creation is already finished, because all possible realities already exist. Now, every decision you could have made in a moment already exists, and that means that like let's say you wanted to be a pilot or in one reality and you became one, but in the other, you became an astronaut, for example. All those realities already exist, and I don't think that people understand the sheer scale when I say infinite, right? At every point in your life, whenever you made critical decisions, or whenever you took decisions, even like every single minute or second of your life, right, there exists a reality where you took an alternate decision or an alternate path, and that branches out into its own reality from there. And this is why like it's infinite, and this is not just for you, this is for everyone who has existed and everyone who ever will exist, right? So that's why it's like really infinite. And if you like add like other creatures on this planet, like animals and insects and whatnot, right, you really begin to like see how infinite these realities are, like really, because the possibilities are endless. That's why we always say like circumstances do not matter. As I explained in one of my Instagram shorts I did, is that there exists a reality where you have done all the things that you have done at this point till this point, and you still got your SP, or still got the business, or still got the money you wanted, for example, right? Because in creation is already finished, and that infinite parallel reality, so all possibilities already exist, right? So I think like you guys have to first like start by trying to understand the sheer scale of it, and really like come to terms with that, right? And the other thing, like even before I get into the whole SP aspect of it, I know that's what people are eager to listen to, is you will never experience realities where others have free will, right? Let me repeat that. You will never experience realities where others have free will. And the answer to this is simple, because consciousness, the I am within you, right, is experiencing this whole vast world through you, in your reality, right? In your reality, you are the center of your own universe. Why? Because consciousness is experiencing reality through you, right? So you will never experience realities where others have free will, right? So really like understand this, because this is like one of the key things that a lot of people get confused about, right? That's why you don't have to be afraid of if people will can harm you or like curse you or anything like that, because only you have free will in your reality, right? Others don't have any free will. So unless you let them do that to you, nothing will ever happen to you, right? Because you are the conscious creator of your reality. You are actively picking out the experiences that you want to experience, and you're constantly aligning yourself with them, right? So like again, no one can you can't experience any other realities where others have free will, because in your reality only you have free will. So with that out of the way, right, let's address the whole elephant in the room situation right now, and that is of course SP. And here's the situation, right? A lot of people ask, well, if I'm the only one with like free will and my SP also has free will, who's going to win, right? And the flaw with this question right there is they assume that this is all just one world, right? And it's easy to see it as one world, of course, because that's we only see one world. But just because we see it doesn't mean that's the only world that exists. SP is experiencing a parallel world that looks and feels just like ours, but in that world she has free will. Like I'm talking about it from a guy's perspective, because I'm a guy. So let's say this is the guy, and this is the girl. Like I used this pen example in my previous video as well. So if the guy wants to manifest the girl, right, and the girl does not want him, right, what's going to happen? And we are talking about it from the guy's perspective, right? We are talking about it from the blue pen's perspective, right? Ideally, if blue pen is doing all the affirmations, visualizations, and all the techniques, and blue pen is literally living in the end and claiming green pen to be his partner, right, girlfriend or wife or whatever, right? Who's going to win? Blue pen. Why? Because we are experiencing this reality through blue pen's consciousness. Like consciousness is experiencing reality through the blue pen, basically, right? So blue pen is going to win. But here's the twist: in green pen's reality, she will never experience this. In green pen's reality, by green pen's reality I mean in a reality where consciousness is experiencing itself through the green pen will never experience a reality where blue pen has manifested her, right? And that's literally the key here, is both of them will get their manifestations in their own separate realities, right? So it's not about, well, who's going to win or what am I going to experience. Well, again, like coming back to this example again, if you are the blue pen, right? If you, let's say, even if you're a guy or a girl, right? If you are manifesting your SP, so let's say this is you are the blue pen right now, and this is your SP, right? And if you want to manifest your SP, regardless of what SP says, you are always going to win. Why? Because consciousness is experiencing reality through you. Simple as that, right? Don't complicate this. It's as simple as as it can get. And I think the confusion really comes when people always wonder, well, what happens in others' reality, right? They will get their desires. And then when I say that, what happens is they are like, oh, does that mean, I won't manifest my SP? In their reality, yes, maybe you won't manifest them in their reality. Why? Because consciousness is experiencing reality through them. So if they say no, that's what's going to happen in their reality. But the thing is, our reality and their reality are two separate cocoons of reality that will not intersect. They are parallel realities for a reason, right? Parallel lines do not intersect. So just remember that, right? So again, if this is you and this is SP, right? Now we are experiencing reality through SP, and this is you. SP will never experience a reality where you manifest them, because it's their reality. Consciousness is experiencing reality through them, but this is a reality because it's in parallel to yours. You will never experience this, so you don't have to be worried about not manifesting your SP because of the fact that they have free will. That reality is in parallel to yours and you will never experience it, right? And there was one more question that I found really interesting, right? Now let's bring, like, okay, this is for two people, right? This was a viewer's follower slash subscribers request, I guess. This person was asking, like, what about if there are three people involved? Okay, so I'm going to bring in one more. Okay, so this is, let's say this is a boy number one, the pen, and this is a boy number two. Okay, and this is girl number one, for example. So let me put this all down. If boy number one and girl number one are together or something, right? And basically boy number two wants to manifest girl number one. Okay, I hope I'm making sense. And if this guy, boy number two, wants to manifest, this girl, right? What is boy number two going to experience? If, let's say, maybe boy number one is not willing to let go of, girl number one, and if boy two wants to manifest her, what's going to happen? And really the question is, whose reality are we experiencing it from, right? So let's say we are, experiencing, consciousness is experiencing reality through boy number two, right? Of course you'll get girl number one, sorry, right? Because why? Because consciousness is experiencing reality through boy number two, and only boy number two has free will, right? So he will definitely manifest, girl number one. But what about girl number one's reality? What if she wants to be with boy number one? Well, they will be, happily together, like, they will, live a happily ever after, basically, right? Because their reality runs parallel to, boy number two's reality, right? The girl number one's reality runs in parallel to boy number two's reality, so they will never experience, like, intersect with each other, right? And so the question really is, whose reality are you experiencing it through? Whoever's reality that you are experiencing this through, or you are looking at it from, they will win, provided they are living in the end and they are doing all those things, of course. So if you are saying, well, I didn't get my SP and SPs with third party and whatnot, it just means that you have not been living in the end. It doesn't mean that they have gained the upper hand in your reality or whatnot. There is no such thing, right? Because only you have free will. No one can gain an upper hand on you in your reality unless you give them the power to do so. So stop giving them power, basically, right? And this has a lot to do with like self concept, right? So work on your self concept, work on your mental diet, right? See things that everything is always favorable for you, right? Know that however dire the situation may be, you can always flip it, right? So there are infinite versions of you, right, in different worlds, and you're not going to experience those versions. Like, I'm not going to experience the version that's in like my like friends world, or example, right? Even though the worlds may look the same, even though the people may all look the same, we are not the same, right? That's why there are infinite parallel versions. So that's one question, right? But if you are the only one experiencing this whole world through free will, then who is the person who looks like you in the other person's world? That's a different version of me. That's an alternate version of me that I will not experience, right? Because in their reality only they have free will, right? So I hope I'm making sense, because like this is a very confusing topic, right? And I'll reiterate it one more time, just for the the if you for you and your friend, for example, right? So again, if this is you and this is your friend, right? In your world, right, only you have free will, and your friend is just a person who just exists, so that they may fulfill any desire for you, right? But in the friend's reality, only they have free will, and you exist for that same purpose, to fulfill any desire that they want, basically, right? And these two realities, again, they don't intersect. Why? Because parallel lines don't intersect. That's why we call them infinite parallel realities, because they will never intersect each other. And I had one more interesting question. This was really my favorite. If I'm a passerby and I'm witnessing like people trying to manifest each other, and stuff like that, then who's going to win, right? Because I'm not involved, right? If that's the case, then who is going to win, so to speak, right? Who is going to get their desires? And that is really dependent on you. If you are the passerby, right, consciousness is experiencing reality through you, and then the question becomes like, who do you want this person to be with, right? If you see a love triangle situation, for example, and if consciousness, you are the passerby and consciousness is experiencing reality through you, who do you want to end up as a couple, right? And if you have that thought, like, I want like so and so to be together, and I want this guy to leave that relationship, for example, right? That's exactly what's going to happen, because even though you're the passerby, like consciousness is experiencing reality through you, and you will witness what you want to see, right? So that's it. Like, it's really simple when you come back to the concept that consciousness is experiencing reality through you, and you're only going to see what you want to see, or you're only going to witness what's going on within you, because everything is a reflection of what's going on within, right? And that's all there is to this, right? So bottom line is this, right? In your reality, only you, right, have free will. That's it. So if you guys are still confused and stuff like that, which I completely understand, by the way, because this is not something that I was able to comprehend like immediately within a day or two. So again, watch this video as many times as you need, and again, you guys can always ask me questions in the comments. But the bottom line is this: only you have free will in your reality, right? Don't complicate it by thinking, okay, what's going on in SP's reality, and if I don't get my SP in their reality, what happens in mine? It's irrelevant, because they are parallel realities that won't intersect, right? And if you can understand this, right, that's it. Like, that's all you have to know. Parallel realities don't intersect. I'm the only one with free will in my reality, and therefore I get what I desire. That's it, right? And so don't be like concerned about what's going on in other people's reality, how they are going to manifest and everything. Frankly speaking, like, that's unnecessary, and that's not our business, right? And my objective with everything is to simplify manifestation process in general, right? To make it easy for you to understand as much as possible. And so if you can just understand and really make peace with the idea that only you have free will in your reality, and therefore you're going to manifest all that you desire, that's all you need to know, honestly. You don't have to be worried about, okay, what's going on in the other person's reality, what do you become in the other person's reality. You're not going to experience that, right? you will never ever experience that reality, right? Because there are, like Neville always says, there are worlds that exist right now, right, that do not intersect, right? There are worlds between worlds, right, as he calls it. There are parallel universes that are running right now in completely different directions, right, that we will never experience because they are parallel realities, right? And there are a lot of questions to this. Then, aren't we just a single soul? That's an assumption, right? Because we don't know how all these things work. But creation, if creation is already finished, then all possibilities already exist. If you can conceive it in your mind, right, it already exists and you can manifest it, right? Question is, do you want to, right? So are you consciously aligning yourself with that reality where that already exists, and so on, right? So it really comes down to what you want, and choosing that and aligning yourself with that experience, and hardening it into fact in your reality and experiencing it. That's it. So don't complicate it by thinking like what is going on in other people's reality and stuff like that, because that's not our concern, that's not our business. Again, parallel realities, only they don't intersect, and only we experience what we desire to. So yeah, guys, we have come to the end of this video. Be sure to like and drop a comment down below if you guys resonate with this video. Turn on the notification bell so that you know when I upload a new video every single week. Thank you so much for your support, guys. If you guys still have like genuine questions about this topic, definitely put it down in the comments. Again, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And also, others can definitely learn from your comments as well. So if you guys have genuine questions, of course, put it down there, and I'll answer it for sure, as as detailed as I can. And also, you guys, if you guys are like concerned about privacy and whatnot, you can always like ask me questions in my Facebook group anonymously as well, so that your identity is not exposed to everyone as well. So yeah, guys, thank you so much. And of course, follow me on my Instagram if you have not. Because some people are coming from YouTube right now, because primarily my audience are from Instagram, but right now I'm having like the other way around too. Like people are going to my YouTube first and then checking me out on Instagram as well. So definitely follow me on Instagram. That's where I primarily post content and whatnot. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, and happy manifesting. Peace.